This week's parsha is called Korach. Korach actually was a cousin of Moshe Rabbeinu. And when you read the first verses, we find a complaint. He had a complaint. Why Moshe and Aharon would be on top, higher than everybody else? Every single one in the congregation of God is a saint person. God is inside of them. So why should be on top of them? What was his complaint actually? When you read last week's Parashat Shlach, we find the story of the spies. Moshe Rabbeinu, because people asked him, sent spies to the land of Israel to see how actually was the land, and they came back with an interesting report. The land is beautiful. It's a great place. However, not even God can put us inside of it, because there's so much people and they're so powerful, etc., etc. We want to stay in the desert, so to speak. We don't want to go into the land of Israel. Let's go back to Egypt, etc., etc., etc. What was behind their complaint? If you actually understand how people lived in the desert, you can actually ask yourself, why would you live such a life to go into the land of Israel? In the land of Israel, they had to work. Actually, they actually said it's a Eretz Eicheles Yeshveh. It's a land that eats in its inhabitants. What does it mean it eats? In the desert, they ate man, bread that came out from heaven. And they drank water from the well of Midian. And they had clouds of glory surrounding them, helping them, etc., etc. So why would you live such a spiritual life? You're eating bread from heaven, actually. Why would you live such a life to go into a physical place where you had to work and when you had to really get into the land? It's going to eat you. If you actually separate yourself from such a spiritual life and go into physical world, the physical world is going to draw you down and eat you so much, you're going to forget and disconnect from spirituality. This is what actually they said. Moshe Rabbeinu proved them wrong. How do you know it's wrong? Because actually they died, they passed away, and the Jewish peoples, they went around, wandered the desert for 40 years, 38 more years than the 2 previous years. In total, 40 years. And afterwards, they went into the land of Israel. So that was the proper way. That was the proper focus, so to speak. That's what God actually wanted. However, we find, so to speak, a room for the spies' complaint. We want to be spiritual people. We don't want to go into the physical world. Moshe Rabbeinu answered them, you're wrong. The main thing is the physical world. The main thing is to actually fulfill the commandments of God down here in earth. Go into the land, so to speak. When Korach heard this, he said, wait a second. If that's the focus, that's what actually God wants, I have a problem. I have a complaint. Why are you higher than the rest of the people? If everybody is the same, if God is inside of everyone, everybody's saint, so why? Because the main thing is action. It doesn't really matter what you have in your heart. You just go do what you have to do. Just do it, so to speak. So if so, why are you higher than the rest of the people? We should all be the same. And Moshe Rabbeinu answered him, in the morning, God will show what he actually wants. Who's with him, so to speak. Why would Moshe Rabbeinu say boiker in the morning? It's like a weird answer. He should have said lemachar in Hebrew. Tomorrow I'm going to show you. Why does he say boiker in the morning? Because what Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to explain to him is, look, wait a second. From the story of the spies, you learn that the main thing is to work on the land, is to be involved in physical fulfillment of commandments. Korach says the other way around. Wait a second, if that's the main thing, so let's just do that. Let's separate spirituality from physicality. Everybody is saint, everybody's the same, whatever. So just delete spirituality from life. Get physical just physical. And Moshe Rabbeinu said, no, you didn't get it. It's true. The main thing is a physical fulfillment of commandments. Go do the right thing, just do it. However, it has to be in the way of boiker, morning. Just spirituality, like the spy said, no. But just physicality, like Korach said, also no. Has to be together. Has to be a mixture, a boiker, a light, morning, so to speak. A light with oil. That's how it's called in Hebrew. Light action. What does that mean? an action that actually shines light. It means that the main thing is the action. It's true. And if you didn't do it, even though you were thinking about the holy things that this represents, if you don't do it, it doesn't really count. However, when you're doing your action, you have to feel the light of God inside the action that you're doing. In order to do that, you have to learn what the action means. You have to learn what the connection to God is through this action. You have to understand the forces, so to speak, in creation being quote unquote touched and actually like awakened by your action. You have to know that Judaism is not just action, and it's not just spirituality. It's a combination of both. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu was answering Korach Boiker. In the morning, God is going to show you actually what he wants. He doesn't want just spirituality like the spies. He doesn't want just action like Korach. He wants a combination of both.